didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life.
From having it all to losing their fame in moments, these celebrities' statements left a lasting impression for all the wrong reasons.
My wife's name out your f***ing mouth!
So stay tuned for the most awkward and unforgettable interviews in media history that ruined careers.
Quiet, but everybody be quiet! Stop it! I have never in my life yelled at a girl like this.
In 2019, R. Kelly sat down with Gayle King, hoping to defend himself against serious abuse allegations. But instead of clearing his name, he gave the world an unforgettable meltdown. He shouted, cried, stood up mid-interview, and screamed.
Y'all killing me with this. I gave y'all 30 years of my.
The internet exploded. Memes took over, and the moment became a viral storm. Whatever sympathy he hoped to earn was lost in the chaos of his emotional outburst. That single interview didn't just fail to help it become the final blow to a reputation already in ruins.
This camera keep going.
No, we're gonna let the camera keep rolling.
This is not, doesn't even make sense.
Robert Downey Jr.
Or whether that's still something.
I'm sorry, I really don't. What are we doing?
Well, I'm just asking questions, that's all.
Right. Bye.
Are you... I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're right.
During a 2015 interview with Krishnan Guru Murthy, Robert Downey Jr. walked off the set after being asked about his past struggles. Initially there to promote Avengers Age of Ultron, Downey became visibly uncomfortable when the journalist brought up personal topics, including his relationship with his father.
In other interviews again about your relationship with your father and...
The actor, trying to steer the conversation back to the movie, ended up standing up and leaving. The abrupt departure left the host and viewers stunned, turning the interview into an awkward, unforgettable moment. Guess even Tony Stark has his limits when it comes to personal questions.
You seem okay, it's just getting a little dinosaur in your...
No, look, I don't want to do that.
Piers versus Tommy.
I would temporarily halt Muslim immigration to this country until we get a grip of the problem.
When Piers Morgan faced off with Tommy Robinson on live TV, things heated up fast. Piers grilled him hard over his controversial remarks about Muslims, calling out his generalizations and stirring the pot even more.
Muslims are people. Islam is an idea.
Yeah.
Islam's an idea.
Robinson, never one to back down, fired back with his usual intensity. The segment was part debate, part verbal wrestling match, and fully uncomfortable. Viewers weren't sure if they were watching a morning show or a courtroom showdown. Either way, it was peak chaos in a suit and tie.
Sir William Gladstone held this book above his head in Parliament, and he said there will never be peace on this earth so long as we have this book.
President Trump.
The president who's trying to save your country.
So, President Trump invited Zelensky to the White House and forgot his chill at home. Things started calm, but quickly turned into what felt like a bad family reunion. Trump accused Zelensky of being disrespectful.
Tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
J.D. Vance backed him up like a hype man, and Zelensky just blinked in disbelief. The mood? Awkward. The handshake? Denied. The outcome? A major mining deal got canned. As the cameras rolled, it felt less like politics and more like an episode of Real Leaders of D.C.
Country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not winning. You're not winning this.
Juliana Rancic.
I love Zendaya's style, and I love when she has the little hair. She just had it.
Juliana's joke turned sour, and the world took notice. In 2015, Zendaya walked the Oscars red carpet in a white gown and elegant dreadlocks. But on Fashion Police, Juliana Rancic made a comment that shocked viewers. She said Zendaya's hair looked like it might smell of patchouli oil or weed.
She has such a tiny frame that this hair to me overwhelms her. Like, I feel like she smells like patchouli oil.
The backlash came fast. Many called it racist and deeply inappropriate. Zendaya, just 18 at the time, clapped back with a powerful Instagram post defending her culture and calling out the harmful stereotype. Juliana apologized, but the damage was done.
She smells like patchouli oil.
Interview gone wild.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And
that's
I'm
all,
shutting your butt down.
And that
Quentin Tarantino's 2013 interview with Krishnan Guru Murthy quickly turned into an unexpected clash. While promoting Django Unchained, the discussion veered toward the violence in his films, and Tarantino wasn't having it.
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Do not ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
What began as a typical interview spiraled into a fiery exchange with Tarantino, growing visibly agitated. As Guru Murthy pressed further, the director, who's known for his fiery passion, wasn't afraid to speak his mind. The atmosphere grew tense, with Tarantino clearly done with the line of questioning. Eventually, the interview came to an abrupt end. Guess you could say that was the real cut to the scene.
knowing when.
It's all about knowing when to hang up the gloves, or in my case, I guess the megaphone.
CNN debate.
President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed the southern border on your...
The CNN debate turned into a one-liner war zone when Trump fired a shot after Biden stumbled through a sentence that, well, it didn't quite land. Trump, with a smirk, said, "I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence." I don't think he knows either.
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Ouch. The crowd didn't know whether to laugh or cringe. Biden looked confused. Trump looked pleased. And CNN just looked overwhelmed. It was less presidential debate and more late-night roast. If this was a preview of 2024, buckle up, because this wasn't a debate. It was a verbal wrestling match with no referee.
40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. It's better than when he left office.
Tom Cruise.
Have you ever felt this way?
Tom Cruise once stole the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. During a talk show appearance, he jumped on the couch, loudly professing his love. But things didn't stop there. He also passionately defended Scientology and criticized modern psychiatry, raising eyebrows across the world. Viewers weren't just surprised, they were confused. The moment became pop culture history and made many rethink how they saw the Hollywood star. Let's just say, Cruise definitely left a mark.
Psychiatry is a pseudoscience.
Name gone wrong.
Check that, Chris Everett. Good to have you on the show.
You know what? You've been calling me that for about the last 5 years.
In one of the most unforgettable moments in sports TV, Jim Everett, a former NFL quarterback, completely lost it on sports commentator Jim Rome.
Chris?
During an interview, Rome repeatedly called Everett Chris Evert, a reference to the famous tennis player, instead of using his actual name.
That, we're sitting here right now, and if you guys want to take a station break, you can. But if you call me Chris Everett to my face one more time...
I already did it twice.
If you call it one more time, we better take a station break.
After being provoked, Everett snapped, lunging across the table and shoving Rome in front of a stunned audience. Rome was caught off guard, but tried to brush it off, though the damage was done. The moment became legendary for its raw tension and humor, forever cementing itself in TV history. Angie Vince.
This turns out to be a grand-scale failure.
You want to let me finish here for a second, pal? Shut your mouth and let me answer the question, all right? I'll be happy to answer.
In 2001, Vince McMahon sat down with Bob Costas for an interview on HBO's On the Record. What started as a discussion about the XFL quickly spiraled into a heated exchange.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Costas criticized the violent nature of WWE programming, causing McMahon to get visibly agitated. As tensions rose, McMahon fired back with sharp remarks. But the conversation ended abruptly when Costas, perhaps sensing the growing hostility, ended the segment mid-debate. The awkward silence lingered before McMahon stormed off set, slamming the studio doors. Later, McMahon humorously suggested a rematch, but their follow-up interview lacked the same fiery energy.
You got a situation that you don't know what you're talking about. Show, Bob, and thank you so much for having me on.
I appreciate your coming on.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a delight.
Will Smith. The Oscars took a wild turn when Will Smith walked on stage and s***ed Chris Rock live, unscripted and unforgettable. It all began with a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith. Within seconds, the tone shifted from playful to tense as Will shouted from his seat, leaving the entire room stunned. Just minutes later, he tearfully accepted the Best Actor award, trying to explain his actions. Social media lit up, the world debated, and the Academy was left in chaos. That single moment overshadowed every win and performance that night. In Oscar history, it's the slap no one will ever forget. Madonna versus Letterman. Talk about a legendary clash. In one of the most infamous interviews with David Letterman, Madonna wasn't having it. Letterman pushed all the wrong buttons, making sarcastic comments and asking uncomfortable questions.
Want to do a commercial?
No. Let's just keep talking and film every second of it.
Oh yeah, because if the rest of it is as fascinating as the first part of it...
Madonna, never one to back down, fired back with equal sass. The tension grew as Letterman continued to make snide remarks, and Madonna's sharp responses only intensified the situation. The whole exchange became one for the books, a perfect mix of awkwardness and pure entertainment that left audiences buzzing.
We can't get rid of her!
Jerry versus Andy. Now this is how you hijack late-night TV. When Andy Kaufman sat across from Jerry Lawler on David Letterman's show, everyone expected jokes, not jabs. But after Kaufman ran his mouth one too many times, Lawler unleashed a slap that knocked Kaufman clean off his chair. Coffee flew, curses followed, and Letterman, he just sat there with the calm of a man watching paint dry. No shock, no panic, just classic Letterman, treating the chaos like it was Tuesday. It felt less like a brawl and more like performance art gone completely off the rails. Liam Neeson. He was known for playing heroes, but one confession nearly destroyed his image. In an interview, Liam Neeson recalled a disturbing story from his past. He admitted that after someone close to him was assaulted, he walked the streets hoping to confront and harm a random black man. Though he stressed that he felt deep shame over those thoughts,
I grew up surrounded by that, but I was never part of it.
The backlash was immediate. Fans and critics alike questioned his judgment, and many called the story racist and dangerous. Neeson later said he sought help and reflected deeply, but the moment left a permanent scar on his career.
Get rid of this. I'm not racist.
Piers Morgan.
This is your show. You have to pay attention to the guests that you invited on your show.
If they're interesting enough.
Piers Morgan isn't new to controversy, but his final days on CNN ended with a mic drop moment just not his. During an interview with comedian Chelsea Handler, Morgan zoned out mid-conversation. Handler didn't hold back, calling him a terrible interviewer and pointing out that he couldn't even stay focused for 60 seconds.
I mean, you can't even pay attention for 60 seconds.
When Morgan tried to blame her for not being interesting, Handler snapped back. It's your job to make it interesting. He returned to the UK for Good Morning Britain, but after ranting about Meghan Markle's mental health and getting called out live, Morgan stormed off and resigned. 2 brutal exits, 1 loud reputation, and a career never quite the same again.
Continue to trash her.
Okay, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, maybe not mine.
No.
See you later.
Rachel Zegler.
I know that you've told me before that your version of Snow White is different, and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White.
When Rachel Zegler spoke about her role as Snow White in Disney's remake, fans expected excitement. But instead, she called the original story dated and criticized the prince as someone who stalks her.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so.
Many didn't take it lightly. Viewers felt she insulted a classic they grew up loving. Things got worse. Online backlash turned intense, and some people even showed up at her home. The film's buzz turned bitter, and its box office performance took a hit. Disney hit pause on similar remakes. Ziegler's honest thoughts caused more flames than applause, proof that one interview can flip a fairy tale into a nightmare.
Weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
Gabrielle Union.
I mean, I put the blindfold on and it felt like I got touched. I don't know.
Gabrielle Union's time on America's Got Talent took a sharp turn after accusations of a toxic work environment. Union, alongside fellow judge Julianne Howe, faced harsh criticism for speaking out about the show's hostile atmosphere, alleging racist comments and unfair treatment. Her bold stance led to her exit, sparking a massive backlash. Fans rallied behind her, but the controversy forced AGT to reassess its workplace culture, making Union's departure a key moment in the show's history. Jackie Mason.
He watched me perform at my first audition, and he got so excited, he was shocked.
Jackie Mason, the legendary comedian known for his sharp wit and bold humor, found himself in the middle of a controversy when he made an obscene gesture during one of his performances. While performing at a comedy show, Mason, in true form, went off script and used the gesture in response to a heckler. The moment quickly caught the attention of the audience and media, leading to backlash for the inappropriate act. Though Mason was no stranger to pushing boundaries, the gesture raised eyebrows, turning what was meant as a comedic moment into a subject of debate.
Here is a really fine actor.
5 Seconds of Summer. They wanted to look cool, and what they got was backlash. In a 2015 Rolling Stone interview, 5 Seconds of Summer tried hard to sound rebellious. They compared themselves to the Beatles, threw shade at the American Music Awards, Justin Bieber, and even mocked the very fans who built their fame.
We were told that we were going to be naked on it, and then we were like, oh, okay.
To top it off, they posed in revealing outfits on the cover. What was meant to be edgy came off as arrogant. Criticism came fast, and for many, the band's rockstar moment felt more like a messy misstep.
I'm not gonna lie, I did try. I was like, hey, so do they need any? And then...
Chainsmokers.
He's like one of the most influential artists for like almost every artist I think that ever existed.
There's honesty, and then there's just digging your own grave with a mic in hand. That's exactly what the Chainsmokers did during a Billboard interview. Instead of focusing on their music, they flaunted their wild frat boy image and casually admitted to cheating on their girlfriends.
And only a few people started breaking off from that and experimenting.
Fans and media quickly turned on them, and when they brushed it all off by saying, "We're just frat bro dudes, loving ladies and stuff," it didn't help. The fallout? Let's just say their music wasn't the main topic for a while.
It's kind of like worrisome when so many prolific, iconic musicians have died this year.
John Rocker.
And Koreans and Vietnamese and Indians and Russians and Spanish people and everything up there.
Controversies can haunt even the most successful careers. In a 1999 interview with Sports Illustrated, John Rocker, a former MLB pitcher, made headlines for his inflammatory comments. He criticized New York City, calling it a mecca for the world's worst people, and made derogatory remarks about immigrants, minorities. His words caused immediate outrage, leading to public backlash and a suspension from the league. Despite apologizing, Rocker's career never fully recovered, and his image remained tarnished, forever linked to the scandalous interview. Glenn Hoddle.
That people disabled and handicapped are being punished for their sins.
Glenn Hoddle's controversial remarks during an interview shocked the football world. The England football manager claimed that people with disabilities were paying for sins from a past life. The backlash was immediate, with many expressing their disgust. Despite apologizing later, the damage was done. His comments cost him his managerial position, and he became the subject of intense criticism. It was a moment in football history that caused a debate about accountability and the impact of careless words.
Their disability might have something to do with something they did in their previous life.
Well, I don't know about that.
Ashlee Simpson.
On a Monday, I'm waiting.
Ashlee Simpson's SNL lip-sync disaster was a career-defining moment, though not for the right reasons. During her performance of Autobiography, the wrong track played, exposing that she was lip-syncing.
On a Monday, I'm waiting.
Instead of recovering gracefully, she awkwardly danced around and dashed off the stage, leaving the audience stunned. The media had a field day, and Simpson later admitted to the mix-up. The backlash was swift and harsh, and the blunder went down in history.
Exactly. I feel so bad my band started playing the wrong song, and I know what to do, so I thought I'd do a hoedown.
As one of pop culture's most unforgettable mishaps. Now that's what we call a major plot twist. Jussie Smollett.
What were your injuries? What were they?
They did x-rays. I didn't have, it was reported that I had like fractured ribs or cracked ribs or something like that. That wasn't true.
In 2019, Empire actor Jussie Smollett claimed he was the victim of a violent hate crime. Public sympathy poured in until cracks appeared. During an interview on Good Morning America, his story seemed off, and he refused to hand over his phone. Days later, the alleged attackers revealed it was staged. Smollett had paid them. In 2022, he was sentenced to 150 days in jail and fined over $100,000. What began as a plea for justice ended as a stunning fall from grace.
I am not weak. And we, as a people, are not weak.
Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew's 2019 interview caused a massive stir. The BBC interview with Emily Maitlis was meant to clear his name, but only deepened the controversy. When asked about his connection to Jeffrey Epstein, the prince denied ever meeting his accuser, Virginia Giuffre, despite a photograph proving otherwise.
Whether that's my hand or whether that's the position, but I have simply no recollection of a photograph ever being taken.
His responses, including claiming not to regret his relationship with Epstein, left many in disbelief. The interview's fallout was immediate, and Prince Andrew was forced to step back from public duties, tarnishing his reputation for good.
I mean, that's a picture of me. It's not a picture of, I don't believe it's a picture of me in London.
Sarah Palin.
It's funny that a comment like that was kind of made to...
After the 2008 campaign, Sarah Palin wasn't done speaking her mind. In a bold interview, she took direct aim at the press. Palin claimed the media twisted her words, pushed unfair narratives, and treated her with bias that damaged her public image. She opened up about how certain interviews were edited to make her look confused or inexperienced, especially her sit-down with Katie Couric. In Palin's view, it wasn't just tough reporting. It was a full-blown media attack. This candid moment gave her supporters a different side of the story, but for many, the damage was already done.
That was kind of made to I don't know,
Charlie Sheen.
Hit sitcom, you're making $2 million an episode. Wow.
Charlie Sheen was on top of the world, starring in 2.5 Men and earning more than any other TV actor at the time. But in 2011, things took a strange turn. During a wild interview with ABC's 2020, he went on long rants, called himself a rock star from Mars, and talked about having tiger blood. He made fun of the show's creator and acted like nothing could touch him. But instead of helping, the interview made things worse. People were confused. Some were worried, and the studio had enough. Shortly after, Sheen was sacked from the show. That one interview turned a top actor into someone Hollywood didn't want to work with anymore.
Mess up a situation where you've got this, great job on a hit show and you're making so much money.
Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf's career took a sharp turn after an honest moment when he opened up about his experience working with Steven Spielberg on Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. LaBeouf admitted that he didn't handle the fame and success well, calling Spielberg a genius, but criticizing the film. He mentioned feeling like the movie's failure affected his career, and he wasn't sure how to deal with the pressure. The comments stirred controversy, and LaBeouf's reputation took a hit, leading to fewer big roles and a change in his career direction. Belle Gibson.
A young, beautiful woman gets given the terrible news she has inoperable brain cancer
Belle Gibson became famous for claiming she cured her brain cancer with healthy eating and natural remedies. People believed her, bought her app, and even her cookbook. She was seen as a wellness icon until it all came crashing down.
I have been healing a severe and malignant brain cancer for the past few years with natural medicine, Gerson therapy and foods.
In a 2015 interview, she finally admitted none of it's true. She never had cancer. On top of that, she promised to donate profits to charity, but the money never showed up. The public felt betrayed, and she was fined over $400,000 for misleading consumers. Her story turned from inspiring to infamous proof that lies, no matter how pretty they look, can only go so far.
An indicator to you that you didn't have brain cancer?
It wasn't an indicator.
Paula Abdul.
What do Idol fans have to look forward to this season, and what are you looking forward to seeing?
Back in 2007, Paula Abdul joined a Seattle morning show to promote American Idol, but it wasn't the show that got people talking. Viewers were stunned by her slurred speech, awkward pauses, and bizarre answers. The clip quickly went viral, and whispers about her being intoxicated spread fast.
Was Alabama was in my ear, and so was Seattle at the same time, so I'm answering questions to the wrong answers of those cities.
Paula defended herself, saying she was simply exhausted and dealing with major audio issues during the live segment. But the damage was already done. Late-night shows had a field day, and the internet wasn't ready to let it go. What was meant to be a simple promo turned into a PR nightmare, all in just a few confusing minutes on live TV.
Where you're in that one little room and you're looking at one camera and there are 30 cities talking into your ear.
Right, exactly.
Roy Keane.
I'd like to go in hard on the United players, but today I'm actually feeling sorry for them.
Roy Keane's fiery interview with MUTV after a humiliating defeat became one of the most talked about moments in football history.
But what Man United have always had over the years, whatever about talented players, they had players with character and personalities. I don't see it with this.
After the loss, Keane didn't hold back, tearing into several teammates for their poor performances. His harsh criticism of players like Edwin van der Sar and Rio Ferdinand caused a massive stir. The club decided to pull the footage and destroy all copies. The fallout ultimately led to Keane's exit from United, with his brutal honesty earning both admiration and backlash, leaving a lasting impact on his career.
I had to do the game 4-1. What do they want me to say? That the team played well?
Kim Jung-hyun. Kim Jong-hyun's behavior at a press conference for Time stirred up major controversy. Instead of the usual actor charisma, he appeared cold, distant, and completely avoided physical contact with his co-star, So-hyun. Fans were shocked by his odd and unprofessional attitude. Speculation swirled. Was his personal life affecting his work? The actor later apologized, admitting he let his personal issues impact his performance. To make matters worse, rumors surfaced that actress Seo Ye-ji may have influenced his behavior. A messy situation, for sure. Lance Armstrong. Lance Armstrong was once a living legend in cycling, admired for his triumph over cancer and his dominance on the bike. But his perfect image began to unravel when doping rumors surfaced. In a bombshell interview with Oprah Winfrey, Armstrong didn't just deny, he admitted to cheating.
Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
He came clean about using banned substances to fuel his victories. As sponsors dropped him like a hot potato, including Nike, Armstrong's empire crumbled. It was a shocking fall from grace for someone once seen as a symbol of resilience and success. His truth was out, but the damage irreparable.
2005, Lance Armstrong.
Billy Bush.
Here we are 7 months later. You're unemployed. Donald Trump is president of the United States.
He was on top of the entertainment world, hosting red carpets and morning shows. But in 2016, a private moment from 2005 came back to haunt Billy Bush. While chatting casually with Donald Trump on the Access Hollywood bus, Bush was caught laughing along as Trump made vulgar remarks about women.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the bus.
Okay, absolutely.
When the tape leaked, it caused national outrage. Trump moved forward politically, but Bush didn't get the same pass. He was suspended from Today and later sacked by NBC. What felt like harmless banter off air turned out to be the interview that quietly ended his public career.
When I walk out of a room or out of a meeting, I'm being sized up in some way.
Jason Bateman.
I think in episode or in season 2 or that abbreviated 3 or something.
Jason Bateman faced backlash after his comments about a tense on-set confrontation during Arrested Development. In 2018, he was criticized for his response to Jessica Walter's allegations of verbal abuse by co-star Jeffrey Tambor.
Sequence up in the attic. Thank you, and also I said a lot of belly there.
Bateman downplayed the situation, which many fans and industry members found insensitive. He later expressed embarrassment and regret, acknowledging the need for better handling of such serious issues. Bateman's apology reflected a shift in recognizing the importance of supporting colleagues in difficult moments, and he sought to make amends for his earlier remarks.
I had the last season, I'm making a doll of my mother.
Lea Michele. Lea Michele's career hit a major bump after accusations of bullying came to light. Glee co-star Samantha Ware accused her of making the set a nightmare, and suddenly, Michele's queen bee image was shattered. Fans and former castmates piled on, calling out her alleged diva behavior. In response, Michele offered a public apology, but it wasn't enough to fix the damage. The star's once flawless reputation quickly became a cautionary tale about the dark side of fame. Chris Harrison.
This season has been full of surprises. Can we expect the same from Matt James this season?
For years, Chris Harrison was the calm, polished voice of The Bachelor, guiding rose ceremonies and heartbreaks like a seasoned pro. But in 2021, his own moment in the spotlight ended in disaster. During an interview with former Bachelorette Rachel Lindsay, Harrison tried to defend contestant Rachel Kirkconnell after old photos surfaced of her engaging with racially insensitive content online. Rather than calling it out, Harrison brushed it off, questioned the timeline, and casually dropped phrases like woke police. The public wasn't having it. Fans erupted. Lindsay stepped away from the franchise in protest. Harrison was suspended, then fired. A career built on charm fell apart in a single interview, and there were no roses handed out to save him.
Antebellum parties are not okay. Past, present, future.
Paula Deen.
Happy to be showing y'all my new stoneware.
She went from the queen of Southern cooking to a name brands didn't want to touch. In 2013, Paula Deen admitted during a lawsuit deposition,
"The day I used that word, it was a world ago,"
that she had used a racial slur in the past. The revelation quickly sparked public outrage. Her empire crumbled almost overnight. The Food Network dropped her, and major companies like Walmart and Target ended their partnerships. Though Deen issued a public apology, the damage was already done. Her once sweet image turned sour, and the road back to public favor has remained out of reach ever since.
and he was playing with my iPad, and he put that iPad down.
Joe O'Meara.
Mentally, I'm not very well, I've been told.
Joe O'Meara's career took a major hit after the Celebrity Big Brother racism scandal, where she made offensive remarks alongside Jade Goody and Danielle Lloyd. Despite apologizing, many found her words insincere, leading to widespread backlash. Her career faltered, with canceled engagements and public criticism. In 2012, O'Meara admitted the scandal had deeply affected her, revealing the long-lasting consequences of the controversy. Despite attempts to rebuild, the damage to her reputation was undeniable.
Sort it all out once and for all, because I think it's just so wrong, the way that everything's gone. And
Alex Pettifer.
long time coming, man.
Yeah.
But I'm really, really excited. I mean, it's a beautiful tale.
Alex Pettyfer was once seen as the next big thing, starring in films like I Am Number 4 and Beastly. But one brutally honest interview in 2011 changed everything. Speaking to VMAN magazine, he slammed Los Angeles, calling it great in location, but terrible in social culture. He said the industry was full of arrogance and fakeness, and he wished it would be cleaned up. He even compared acting to being in prison, saying, "You serve your time and try to copy Johnny Depp's career." That one interview, mixed with on-set tension rumors, especially during Magic Mike, sent his career into a downward spiral.
Have you ever had to give a speech, Alex?
Yeah, I did.
How'd it go?
Not great.
And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. Megan Fox made headlines when she compared Transformers director Michael Bay to Napoleon and even Hitler in a 2009 interview with Wonderland magazine. She described Bay as a tyrant on set, criticizing his lack of social skills and calling him a nightmare to work for. The fallout was swift. Fox was let go from Transformers, Dark of the Moon, and her career took a hit with smaller roles in films like Friends with Kids. It wasn't until she apologized that she was invited back into Bay's world for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Guess even Hollywood dramas need a sequel.